All right, so today we're going to work on some exercises for brass monkey, how to go up into it, how to come down from it, working on taking it off of the floor as well. So we'll start with some cardio for today. Okay, so let's bring it up. Back knees. Good, and kick back. Good, take it out. Good. So we're gonna do hip circles, each leg in and out. Good, let's take it into a lunge on the right side. Bring it down. Let's reach up. Good, and then switch other side. Good, let's take it all the way down, hands down, step back. Good, coming down, knees, and bring it back. Good, let's come all the way back up. Lift the leg, right leg 5 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, and switch. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, let's take the legs nice and wide. Walk your hands in. Good, bend the knees and we'll roll it all the way up. Okay, let's reach up, pressing the palms towards the ceiling. Good, and add circles, big circles. Good, hug it out, forward and back. Perfect. Okay, so what we're gonna do for the first little bit is just working on our flag grip a little bit more. So just practicing strengthening through your chest, bicep, and holding the flag grip. So we'll come down, hinge over about halfway. The elbow is going to be in line with the shoulder, and you can use your pointer finger to push down. So you're gonna squeeze in. Okay, and then from there, bottom hand comes down. We can walk the feet back, just squeeze and hold. So you'll already feel it here, right? Because your body wants to move down, but you're gonna try and hold it there. Good, and then come back in. So with brass monkey, it's not full flag, so you're not using your shelf of a hip, right? So your bottom arm can be relatively straight. It's always nice to have a little bend in your elbow though, so that you can highlight using your bicep and your shoulder. So let's do the other side. Lean forward, wrap that arm, elbow in line with the shoulder, bottom arm down. Let's lift, kind of try and walk your feet underneath your hips and lift your heels so that you can kind of think of lean forward and you can really make sure that you're squeezing and pushing down. Good. And release. All right, so now we're gonna do it where you're gonna lift one leg. Okay, we're gonna do little hops on the bottom leg. So we come forward, wrap the arm, bottom hand comes down. We're gonna lift that inside leg up and down. Okay, and then so you always wanna look kind of in the direction of your leg. So you'll know where it's going, but you don't need to turn your head all the way. Try and use more of your peripheral. So just a slight tilt of your head towards the side so that when your leg comes up, you're trying to bring the foot not so much straight back, but a little bit more out to that side. So I'm going to face forward, and then you can see out and back, out and back. So you don't need to bring the leg too far out to the side, but because it needs to catch the pull behind the knee, just making sure that your foot and ankle are crossing that side, because then you're more likely to be able to grab the pull. Okay, so let's do it again. Other side. So walk it out. Hips, shoulders in line. Try and find that nice angle first. Let's take the inside leg up, bend, out, and back down. So the more that you can think of the squeezing in, so pull in, push down, like you're being pulled up and in. That's the action. As you push down, you want to lift up and in. And send that heel up towards the ceiling. Okay, so for me, those are the main exercises to just like get your body position for the one that's up on the pole. Okay, so then now we're going to take it to the floor to just work on the knee. And then we'll work on possibly sitting up from it as well. Just notice that my screen's a little bit tilted. So I'm going to try and fix that ever so slightly. Yay, we're even. Okay, so now wrap the arm, bottom hand comes to the floor. Really try and feel that it's underneath your shoulder, right, and not out here. Pushing up from the shoulder so you can find as much length as possible. Okay, so then from here, same thing, just tilting slightly your head towards the side. Squeeze, we're gonna try and wrap the leg. And then slowly come back down. So try and do about 3 or 4 on each side. What you really want to get your body to understand is that it's just to have that muscle memory of exactly where it needs to go. So it shouldn't feel like it's going out to the side really. It should just feel like your leg is going out from the body and then up. So that when it catches your knee, really what you're trying to feel is that your calf touches the pole. Because then once your calf touches, just like in back hook spin, right? Then you know once you squeeze and bend your leg, the pole's gonna go directly into your knee. So it's just trying to find that every time without really having to think about it. Okay, and then avoiding the arch right in the low back. Continue to feel that pull up and in. That's why I like the standing exercise a little bit more, because it really forces you to feel that first. Because if you start to go into the low back, right, you're gonna get that weird dip and arch in it, and it's not going to feel very secure. Okay, so pull up and in so that your hips go as close towards the pole. Obviously there's a little bend either way, right, because brass monkey has an arch in order to get into the knee, but not so dipped. Okay, it shouldn't feel like it's squishy. Okay, so then the next step would be to lift the arms off and just hold the bicep, right? Arms off the floor and then place them back down. Okay, so I didn't do my other side yet, so just keep going, but try and add the lifting of your arms. Okay, so take your time with that. If you need to pause, you can always do that, and then we'll come back. So the next one we're going to be doing is working on coming from a layback and then working on traveling down into the brass monkey. Okay, and then after that, we'll work on the lifting up. Just wanted to take a break from having the wrists on the floor, but then we'll work on the lifting up out of it after that. Okay, so try and climb up fairly high because this one travels down a fair amount. So once you are up and you come into your layback, walk your hands underneath your butt to start. Make sure you feel like you can relax down. From there, one arm is going to reach down and grab the pole. The opposite arm will reach through that space and bend your elbow. From there, you can start to release your legs. Find the bend in that knee. Place the other foot on top, and then you find your brass monkey from there. So this one is very twisty in a sense that you have to twist your body in order to feed the arm through. So a good focus for this one is to try, once your bottom arm comes down and you start to bring the other arm through, try not to hold on to the grip of the legs so tightly. You can start to transition, right? So the top leg will be straight and kind of flexing at your foot so that can hold a little bit, just so that it doesn't feel so crazy twisty that it's hard to get that arm through. But yeah, either way, you're really trying to find the most relaxed you can be in your layback so that your body is able to move from there, right? So just focusing on getting the layback to feel more like fully relaxed back. Okay, we'll try that again. So all the way down, arm comes through, and bend. Good, and then all the way down. All right. So we'll give it one more with that one, and this could be something that you revisit. Okay, I can try and go about it a little bit slower, just to kind of show the transition to get the arms in place. All right, so one more time with that one. So arms are down. I usually like to use the opposite arm of the leg that's bent. That comes down. You're gonna reach through and then bend your elbows, which you can, to grab into the bicep. Push down, start to let your legs go. You really wanna push into the bottom arm and then move your hips to the side to find that knee. Squeeze your bicep nice and tight and arms go. Okay. That one is definitely tough to talk through and do at the same time. All right, so now we're gonna work on the lifting up out of it. So when you come into your brass monkey, whether it's from the floor, like we'll start it from the floor, and then we'll work on the kicking up, okay? So once you're in your position with the legs, your outside leg will flex and come straight. You start to look up. You're gonna push with that bottom arm, and your top hand will come in between, pretty much where the knees are, just a little bit higher, and then you would eventually climb up from there. So the big key with that one is to try not to overthink the lifting up. The arm that's in your elbow or bicep, sorry, the hand pretty much stays there. So if you want to, just watch the hand. But basically what happens is you take it out of your elbow and then you just push up and then you lift up from there. So always just think, keep your like chin tucked and you're looking in the direction that you want your next hand to reach and grab the pole. So keep the knee squeezed. You're gonna feel a little pressure on your foot, right? Push down and tuck up from there. Okay, if you're finding you're dropping with your height or like you're sinking a little bit as you do it, just focus on getting the grip first. So even just holding it is the biggest thing at the beginning. Feel that there's weight in your knee and in the foot. And then you can even just take the arms off, like hold, you know, brass monkey with the bicep, just like that. Your hand comes down, up. So place that leg, squeeze, and even just hold from there. Okay, so try and start it like that. Feel that out, then you'll work on the lifting up. Okay, so I'll go through the lifting up one more time. All right, so we come down. Come all the way up. Outside leg will flex. From there, you're gonna start to look up. This elbow comes out, push. Use that foot, reach up in between the knees. This leg will drop. Or you can even hold onto it and walk it up into a sit. Okay. So you can pause, right, and keep working on that one. You don't have to necessarily be confident on both sides when you're doing the lift up, but it is really good to have that locking of the knee and the foot on both sides so your body can understand what really needs to happen, because sometimes going onto the opposite side will allow you to think about things that you might be missing on the other side as well. Okay. So the next one will maybe take some time to work on the descent of it, but we're gonna go into a basic sit, lean over to the side, and then walk down into brass monkey from there. This one can feel like a drop, so it's important to maybe have something underneath you, whether it's your crash mat or some couch cushions. And really just work on the first part at the beginning until that feels comfortable. So you're gonna come up into a sit, relatively high up. And then from here, we're gonna go over to this right side. So I'm gonna lean over. You wanna lift your hip and get it into your knee. That part's hard, right? There's a lot of oblique that happens with that. From there, you can sink it down, place your foot all the way up, start to walk this hand down, come all the way, put your bicep, right? And then you're finishing in brass monkey. So the actual hardest part of this one, aside from the fact that it feels like you're diving nose first, is that you want to get your sit to be right up into your knee. Okay, so we'll do that a couple times, just a little bit lower, and then we'll try it again. So when you come from your sit, so this time I have my left leg on top. You can use your forearm with your inside arm. Your top arm should be a little bit lower, and you're gonna pull your hips up to the opposite side, catch in your knee. Right, so see how my knee's caught into the pole? Then I would hook that right leg, right? And then you would start to make the descent from there. It's not necessary for you to use the top leg straight, but I think it's very good at the beginning so that you have as many points of contact as you're lowering down as possible. Okay, so I'll go through it again from the top, because it's really just finding that first part, and then you just slowly slide your hand down and pull it into your bicep, and then you'd be there. All right, so from your sit, I have my right leg on top, so I'm going to be using my right forearm, leaning and lifting my left hip up, coming up into my right knee. I'm going to use my left leg to kind of trap the leg so it can stay there in my knee. Once I start to lower down a little bit more, I'll lift the leg, hook it, bottom hand will come down. You're going to start to slowly bend. You can even put your hand on the floor, find brass monkey, and then lift. So that one is more dynamic because usually it's done a little bit faster and it looks kind of like a drop. So it's really just important to keep working on the foundation of the legs, how you hook your knee, and working on the leg that's straight as well. So those are the main ones that I wanted to do. So let's just do a little bit more practice with coming from, so being up on the pole with both hands and working on just lifting up from there. Okay, so right arm will wrap a little bit higher, but really try and find that hold first. So your biceps engaged, bottom arm is pushing down. You feel pull up and in from your center. You're gonna take that inside leg, little swing. Make sure it's coming just a bit out to the side and try and tap the pole. Okay, so you can hold. You can even slide down to your hand and come all the way off. All right, let's do it a few more times. So work on taking that up and in. Squeeze, push down, up, tap the pole. And maybe you don't get it and you just tap the pole and come back down. I know that part can be hard because sometimes it feels like you're just maybe smacking your calf on the pole. But really work on pushing down, lifting up in your hips so that it doesn't feel like there's no support. Okay. All right, so I am going to go into one more because it's one of my favorite ways of getting into brass monkey. Once again, it's a little bit more, so there's more challenge to it, but it is coming from a shoulder mount. Okay, so you're working on getting your legs up, hooking one leg on the inside, and then you just lower yourself down into your bicep. So when you come up, you can come all the way into a shoulder mount, invert, then switch it, or just come right into it. So I'm going to come down just a little bit lower so that I don't go too high up on the screen. So once you lift up, think of your inside leg is going to come towards the inside and your outside leg comes straight up, right? So that same position of the legs that we're working on, then you slide your inside arm to your bicep, drop the bottom or top leg onto the bottom leg, and then you're all the way there. Okay, do it one more time. So the biggest thing obviously with your shoulder mount is making sure that you're getting high enough. So you're trying not to get your feet and legs right above your head. You're trying to really pop your hips up. So as you come up, inside leg, right now I'm on my left shoulder, your inside leg comes up towards the center. Outside leg comes to the bottom, or it straightens and flexes at the bottom. Bicep, and drop the leg. So of course, a precursor to that one is just working on getting up into your shoulder mount invert, right? Getting the legs where they need to be, making sure the hips are high enough and you're not putting too much pressure on your collarbone. All right, so I hope those helped. Brass monkey is very, very much like a core exercise when you're working on hopping up into it, and then very much like a leg position focus when you're kind of going down into it or descending into it. All right, so let's do a quick stretch. Walk it down. Good, bend the knees, let's roll it all the way up. Let's take one foot, toes up, and do a calf stretch. And switch. Good, then for hamstring, let's take the feet, both legs straight, and lean forward. Make sure hips feel even. Good, roll it up, switch sides. Good, let's take it all the way down. We'll lunge. Let's add a twist with a stretch in the back leg. And switch. Okay, I'll release, slide it all the way back. Push back. Roll it all the way up. Roll the shoulders. And once again, hug it up. All right, perfect. Thank you guys so much. And let me know how it goes for you.